It's been an interesting, like, I mean, hell, I mean, you and I first met like 3 years ago,
Yeah.
back when like I first started, I feel like.
It was probably right before you got started. Yeah,
Yeah.
the idea was there, and
Yeah.
I saw you on social media and what you were doing, and reached out. And
Yeah, man. I was telling somebody this story not too long ago about how you and I connected, and it was basically I forget where I had posted the picture from, but I was like trying to do my version of a who has the best burger in town.
oh yeah,
And
yeah.
I posted a picture of a burger from somewhere, and you commented and were like something to the effect of, if you want to see what a real burger tastes like, stop
Well,
out to Wampsville.
Something like that. Not quite like that, but yeah.
Yeah, man. And I was like, all right, I'll be out there. Yeah. And
Yeah.
then, I mean, hell, you grew up in San Antonio, right?
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
And I had lived in Killeen for a couple years. Actually, at that point, I had pretty much just been back, like maybe a year or something, So, yeah, man. Small world.
Yeah, it gets smaller every day, it seems.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was nice to meet someone who had some connection to Texas, and
Yeah.
because, moving here, man, there was like just culture shock for
Oh.
the first 5 years or so.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Really, really, really strange. Yeah. Riggies, what the heck is that?
Yeah, man.
Tomato what? Pie? What?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't get that in Texas.
What if you had to say, if somebody was asking you, Vic, what is the food of New York? We'll get a little closer. Let's say, what's the food of Central New York?
Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
Yeah. What would you say?
Well, you're looking at salt potatoes, chicken riggies, tomato pie, Utica greens.
Yeah.
Those are all the staples.
Yeah.
It used to be the Hoffman hot dog
Right. Yeah.
also, but I don't know anymore about that.
I don't know if they still make. I don't know where their main manufacturing plant
I
for
don't
those is,
either.
but I know one of them. I'm probably going to talk out of turn with this. I don't know if they make the Hoffman hot dogs and like Coney's out there, but they do have a plant in just outside of Fort Worth, Texas.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
When I lived there, I used to drive from Killeen up to Dallas, like maybe once a week or something like that. And I would always drive past on this one exit. There was this bright neon sign, like big sign that said Syracuse. And I think it was like Syracuse Sausage Company or something like that.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, oh, that's weird. And my sister told me, because she lived out there too, she was like, yeah, that's where they make all the Italian sausage that gets sent back to Syracuse. I was like, I don't think that's right. I'm pretty sure that's not right. She was like, no, it is. And then this past like fall, I ran into this. I was connecting with her online, but I ran into this woman who is one of the owners of Hoffman's, and her name's Rebecca. I forget her last name, but lives in Texas. And I was like, "Is that your all's plant out there?" She was like, "Yeah, that's ours." I was like,
How cool is
I
that?
did not
Right
know
on.
that. Yeah, man. Yeah. So yeah, the
Lone Star shines.
Hoffman's may have lost their a little bit in Syracuse, or in the Central New York area, but they're made
Yeah.
in Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when I moved up here, I mean, there was a few things I knew about already because I had visited with my wife. She's from here.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I knew some of the stuff, but I had no idea how big Riggies were.
Oh, yeah.
And then so when we opened up the restaurant and changed it over to a farm-to-table restaurant, I really made sure that we didn't do what already has been done.
Mm-hmm.
So it didn't want to be like the neighborhood diner and didn't want to have everything that everybody else has. I mean,
Right.
there's so many places where you can go and get chicken riggies, or they walk in to your establishment and they ask, do you have riggies? No. Do you have pizza? No. Do you do greens? No. Well, what do you do? It's like, well, take a look at the menu.
Yeah, man.
Do
Yeah.
steaks, barbecue,
Yeah.
burgers.
So if you had to say, what is the food of, let's say, I mean, San Antonio would be considered, would that be considered still Central Texas?
South Central.
South Central, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, like Killeen, like, Waco, like those areas would be considered Central, and San Antonio is a good hour and a half south of that.
Yeah.
So what would you say is the food of that area?
Of San Antonio.
Yeah.
Well, chips and salsa for sure at every
Yeah.
table.
Yeah.
It depends. I mean, chicken fried steak is really big.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, with country gravy. Enchiladas,
Yeah. Yeah, man.
chips and queso.
Yeah. Those are such great, like, different, like chicken fried steak and enchiladas are the.
You can go to Mexican restaurants. There's one I know of in New Braunfels, Texas, and they have a separate area where they're making corn and flour tortillas right there on the spot, right? So it's all about Mexican food, Tex-Mex, right? Chicken fried steak is the first thing on their menu.
That sounds like Texas.
Yeah, so
man.
you got to give them what they want.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's one thing I do miss the most about Texas. Really, the only thing, besides a few of the people, is the food. I mean, I'd kill, and you probably do this, but a little bit, but I would kill to find somebody right here, and we'll get to Wampsville here in a second, but I'd kill to have somebody make killer barbecue and wrap it in a tortilla. That is something that I miss from Texas.
Like brisket in a flour tortilla that's been charred.
Yeah.
So it's not cold.
Right.
And brittle.
Yeah.
It's got some char on there.
Yeah.
Slap some guacamole on there, maybe some pico de gallo, maybe a few extra sliced jalapenos.
Yeah. And God forbid somebody would make the tortilla themselves.
Breakfast of champions.
Yeah, man. I went through this stint right before we left because Rebecca and I went to Hawaii for our honeymoon a couple weeks ago. And
wow, I don't think I would leave the island.
Oh, man. We were honestly, it's been a crazy 2 weeks since we've been back. I've been working every day since.
Yeah.
And
congratulations, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. And last night was like the first night in a long time, since we've been back, that we haven't done anything. We just sat home and, chilled. And we're just like sitting on the couch watching a movie. And I was like, we need to go back to Hawaii. We need to move now.
Because you were like constantly doing something, huh?
Yeah, man. I mean, I think we did a lot, and we had a great time. And some of my favorite times were like sitting underneath a palm tree with a Mai Tai, reading a book, staring at the ocean.
Yeah.
Like that was, it was absolutely amazing, I forget why I told you that we went to Hawaii.
Because you went to Hawaii, dude. Come on. That's something to talk about.
This episode's coming out in like 2.5 weeks. And in every episode, because I just finished up one with Full Bore, the guys at Full Bore Brewery in North Syracuse, and then Casey from New York Mushroom Company.
Yeah.
And the listeners are going to hate this because now this is the third episode in a row that I'm talking about Hawaii.
There he goes talking about Hawaii again.
That is some black sand right in front of you in that jar.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah, man. I scooped that up from one of the beaches we went to.
Is that legal?
I don't think so, but...
breaking the law.
But yeah, man. So right before we went, this is why I was telling you, right before we went to Hawaii, like the month of January, obviously we're going to Hawaii, so, we want to lose a little bit of weight. And I'm going to the gym every morning, but I'm coming home, and that entire, month, I bought corn tortillas. I would, heat them up in the skillet, right? Get them brown and crispy a little bit. And I would make scrambled eggs with cheese and then a tomatillo salsa. And I had 2 of those every morning for breakfast right after getting back from the gym.
Yeah. Gluten-free, man.
Yeah.
You need to get yourself a little comal.
Yeah.
Instead of using you can use a cast iron skillet, but if you get a little comal, you can just set that right on the burner.
Yeah,
and it'll stay hot, so you can turn it off and then still use it.
Yeah. There's you can wrap anything in a good tortilla, and it's great. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing better than a fresh corn tortilla.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Oh. So how long have you had Madison Bistro open?
10 years.
Wow.
We're in our 10th year now.
That's
just
nuts.
amazing.
Yeah.
Huge blessing. I mean, it didn't start out the way we wanted it to.
Uh-huh.
And then we just kind of rolled with the punches.
Yeah.
And truthfully, there were several pivotal points. The first one was our customer base. They got us. They understood what we were doing.
That's cool.
And they come in, and then you have these people who come in and have the same thing every time.
Yeah.
But there are a lot more customers that we have that change it up and get something different every time.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really cool. And they're return customers. And then using the POS system with Square, that's really helped keep track of our customer base. Not so much the food. I mean, because I could tell you off the back of my head, what or how many of each item we sold, roughly, but it does help with inventory.
Oh, yeah.
And then another one happened a few years later with the Beef Council. And that's all thanks to Facebook, too, man. I just like scrolling, and then there was a sponsored spot.
Yeah.
And it was the New York Beef Council throwing it out there saying, who's got the best burger in the state of New York? I thought, wow, what are the chances of this? So what can we do to get in the top 10? So I sent it out to all my friends, and at the time, I didn't really know a lot of people here. I mean, I have 3,000 friends on Facebook. I don't know, but maybe 50 of them.
Yeah.
But not being from here, I'm constantly sending out friend requests to expand my network.
Right.
And it's worked.
Yeah.
And so the Beef Council creates these platforms for businesses to throw their name in the hat at no cost. It doesn't cost you anything at all.
That's cool.
And there are some businesses that don't really need the promotion, like some steakhouses, like in New York City, like the ones in Long Island, or the other Madison Bistro that's on Madison Street in New York City. I think they just closed too recently.
Oh,
That's,
really?
Yeah, it breaks my heart when that happens.
Oh, man.
Those places don't need that kind of promotion, but smaller businesses like mine, I realized that this was an opportunity to really go for it and let the chips fall where they may,
Yeah.
And it worked in our favor.
That's cool.
Yeah, get the call and say, hey, this is the New York Beef Council. We're here to tell you that you've got not one, but 2 burgers in the top 10.
Wow.
That was a couple of years ago. So we had the Elvis burger and the Texan burger.
What was the Elvis burger?
The Elvis burger is just a bacon cheeseburger with a bunch of fried onion rings on it.
Okay.
And the Texan is brisket on the burger.
Yeah.
Served with pickles and onions, of course.
Right, yeah.
And they said, that's the good news. Bad news is you can only choose one. I thought, what? That's like having 2 kids saying, sorry, Timmy, you can't go to Disneyland. Your sister's going to go. I was like, you can't do that. She goes, no, you can only take one. So we went with the Elvis burger because it's just ridiculous. It's a big, tall burger, right? And that worked in our favor. We came out 4th.
Wow.
So the next year I thought, you know what? We need to put the Texan back out there again.
Yeah.
And it made it into the top 10.
Wow.
Again, and this time finished 3rd. So we're inching up a little bit.
Yeah. I've been told one of the things that, whatever it is, you can't enter the same burger year after year. Is that right?
If you win.
If you win. Okay.
If you win.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So you think you're going to enter the Texan or the Elvis again? Or you think
I think we're going to go with the Texan again.
Yeah.
Only going to refine it. Instead of having the barbecue sauce right on there, we're going to serve it on the side.
Okay.
So the beef flavor is forward.
Okay.
So you get that burger that's just seasoned with kosher salt.
Yeah.
And then all that smoky beef brisket.
Yeah.
Really coming through with the beef flavor.
Yeah, man.
And that's what they're looking for, really.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the Beef Council wants,
They told us that the reason the Elvis came in 4th was because the onions took away from the flavor of the beef. So you got these big, crispy, salty onion rings, which are delicious,
right,
and fun to eat when you have this towering burger.
Yeah.
But if you're the New York Beef Council, what are you looking for? Beef.
Yeah, for sure, man.
So that's what I'm thinking about doing this year.
Yeah.
Putting it out there again and letting our fan base and our followers and our supporters do the work.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Just see what happens.
Yeah, see what happens. Yeah. I'm trying to think because the people who Ale and Angus won it. Is that right? And they had their...
Yeah.
I tried that burger. That was their beef on weck burger.
They've done it a couple of times.
Yeah.
And it was like prime rib.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, man.
And then last year was sliced roast beef. So I thought, wait a minute. Come on. That's kind of the same thing, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shaved steak. Oh, no, it's sliced steak. Yeah, that's it. Wait a minute. But he won.
I know.
He won. And that's what they're looking for. They're looking for beef.
Yeah, for sure.
They want the beef flavored in there.
Yeah.
And so that's really,
how does
those
that,
platforms have really helped us.
Oh, yeah. You really can't, I mean, the New York Beef Council on that platform is a completely different story because that is a big platform.
It is statewide, man.
Yeah, for sure. And for a small restaurant, I don't think you can really pass up on opportunities like that are big or small.
You shouldn't.
I mean, I've run into some restaurant owners in the past who are like, we don't do any events. They very rarely whatever the case is. But there's stuff like that really gets your name out there a long way,
You'd be surprised what it can do for you.
Yeah. So when you're entering in that competition, what kind of rules are there? Like, do you have to use like beef from a certain place? Do they provide it? You have to cook it a certain way?
No, it just has to be something on your menu.
Huh.
You want it to be something on your menu so your customers can get it. And if you win or place, all those people are coming in and just like Marie Maciag, my sous chef, when this last year when we the Texan came in third, people started coming in again after the contest, but they were still ordering the Elvis burger. Now we batter those onion rings to order.
Oh wow!
Right. So she was like, "This is so last year," making those ridiculously tall Elvis burgers. But we went to listen to this guy talk at a food show. I forget his name, but he was from L.A.
Mm-hmm.
And he's worked with a lot of like really big companies like Sara Lee, Chili's, all these really big chains.
Yeah.
And he's helped them format their marketing, strategies. And just listening to this guy talk, and he said, "These are the golden rules. You don't break these rules. Number one, you don't. What did he say? You never take out your 401k to start a business. Guilty.
Oh, really?
All of it.
Yeah. Wow.
All of it. 10 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Not my wife, so she's still covered.
Yeah.
So we still have a little nest egg. It's just but mine's all gone.
Yeah.
Not yet. We're waiting for the return.
Yeah.
It'll come. The other rule was never start a new business in a building that had a previously different business in it. We did that too. Yeah. He had all of these rules, golden rules, and man, we broke all of those rules.
Wow.
And I like to think that we were one of the first ones in that. I like to call it the Route 5 corridor. You're between Chittenango and, say, Vernon Center.
Yeah.
So you have Sherrill, Oneida, Canastota.
Yeah.
Durhamville's off to the side a little bit.
Yeah.
That we were one of the first ones in that area.
Yeah.
To break the rules. Not have chicken riggies.
Yeah.
And not have a Hoffman hot dog on the menu.
Yeah.
Although we did at one point, or we did chicken riggies as a special.
Yeah.
Now we just do it as a soup.
That's
we
cool.
use a little tiny.
Nice.
Yeah. Tastes just like it.
Yeah, man.
It's delicious.
Huh.
Yeah.
Like you say that, and there's Andrew and Jamie who own that coffee shop in Sherrill. What the hell is the name of it? I sold them coffee, and I've had them on the podcast.
Something leaf? Green something?
No, that's not. Oh, man, it's escaping me right now.
I know it's over there by Ebenezer's, right?
It's right now. There's the post office, and there's the traffic light.
The Chinese restaurant is over there.
I think, and that plaza.
Sushi East is right there.
Yeah,
that's some really good sushi too.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Come on,
dude.
man.
That's
good sushi.
I'm telling you, that dude knows what he's doing.
Really?
Oh my God, that octopus is like right out of the water. So
What?
fresh. It's sick, stupid good. I could eat it till I'm sick. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, man.
Oh my God! I've made fun of that place in my head so many times when I
No,
drive by it.
and I think it's the same dude that owns a Chinese restaurant on the end.
Really?
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's absolutely wild.
Have a nice day.
Yeah.
They're awesome. They're super
Yeah,
nice
man.
people, hardworking too.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah.
Wow. Huh. Well, Andrew and Jamie, I mean, they're doing their own fresh fermented stuff. They're pickling all their own stuff over there. They're making like their own, I believe, kombucha, like kimchi, pickled everything.
Yeah, I
Doing
can't
his
do
own-
that kombucha stuff.
Really?
Whatever it's called. I can't.
Yeah. I get into it a little bit, and I like it.
My
Not
wife
bad.
tells me, well, that's because you have so many problems in your gut, and it's cleaning it out. Yeah, well, I don't like it. Yeah. Why can't we just have water?
Yeah, right. Yeah, man. Yeah, but I'm sure if I went to like some yoga studio and I had a kombucha from there, I would be like, "This is disgusting. I'm never gonna touch this again." I like the Wegmans, the Wegmans,
yeah.
like the everyday man's
A
kombucha.
lot of people have it, man. A lot
Yeah.
of people love it.
I know. Yeah, we kind of go through. We haven't really gotten into it much this winter, but we did last summer.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they do that kind of stuff, and they're doing legit stuff, but in Sherrill, where, I mean, who the hell cares about that stuff in Sherrill? But they've been there for a little over like a year and a half now, I think. And
Wow.
yeah, I mean, it's a struggle for sure.
The first 5 years are going to be a struggle.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
They're filled with days of
Yeah.
what did I get myself into, worry,
Yeah.
stress.
What do you think it was going to be when you were first opening up? Did you think it was going to be that, or did you think that it was going to be, here I am in Wamsville, they've never seen this food before, I'm going to, kill it right out of the gates?
No,
You
did
didn't?
not think that.
Okay.
I really didn't have time to think about it because I was on the line.
Yeah.
It was just me, my wife, Lisa,
Yeah.
and one or two other people, maybe a kid washing dishes.
Yeah.
And we tried to do everything. And we did
Yeah.
everything for the longest time. We did inventory, we did ordering, we did cleaning up, coming in on the weekend, cleaning the equipment, working breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then washing dishes if the dishwasher didn't show up or we didn't have one, and then cleaning the restrooms, vacuuming, sweeping, you do it all. And it wears on you, and then you just don't have time to think about a business model or plan or anything like that. You're in the trenches, and I know that I owe the bank, because we put the entire 401k out there for the down payment, and then you get this huge loan, and now you're in it for like 10 years. So yeah, you just got to keep grinding.
Yeah.
It's when you start bringing in the right people to help you, and that was the hard part, trying to figure out who was going to fit where.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, these people just started falling in our laps. So we got a waitress, and then decided to do service, full service. Before, they were coming up to the counter and ordering. Most of it was takeout.
Okay.
And then when we hired a server, but that changed the whole game for us. It's like, oh, people are sitting down, and then she was just happy as a clam to walk out of there with a few bucks and just couldn't believe it. And now she's like, oh my God, now they're doing great. The wait staff is we have the nicest customers, and they take care of the staff.
That's cool.
Even though they're all on payroll,
Yeah.
legit. And so, for the first 5 years, I would say, really didn't have much time to think about a business plan. It was just more about specials or the menu, tweaking it.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it overnight because it kind of just freaks out everybody. If you got a set base, customer base coming in on a regular basis, they kind of get used to the menu, and then you start changing things up too much, kind of freaks them out a little bit. Oh, wait a minute, what are you doing? Are you doing Tex-Mex? Are you doing barbecue? What are you doing? So we had to kind of like streamline it. Okay, anything we do barbecue is just the brisket, right?
Yeah.
So we don't smoke anything else. Occasionally we'll do something special like the beef ribs or something like that.
Yeah.
So it was all about that. And then, like I said, when we ran out of those frozen patties that we had been doing the first couple of years, and we ordered we bought some USDA grade beef from a farmer in the area. That changed everything. It's like, okay, now we're on to something. That's when the business model started to change.
Yeah.
And I started thinking kind of like with the idea that what Red Robin was doing, having all these different burgers with different toppings on them. So that's something we could do. So we came up with an easy, quick menu.
Yeah.
And then did specials. And some of them were like a joke. Like the Elvis burger was a joke, dude. I served it when the initial serving of the Elvis burger was done. It was served with a spoonful of peanut butter. And nobody ate the peanut butter. So then we stopped serving it with the peanut butter. And they're like, you need to bring that burger back. It was awesome. Okay. Just because it looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know? And it just kind of took over. It was organic. It was just something that kind of took over. And the customers really built it. So you accommodate by giving them what they want. You try these different specials. Something sticks, and you put it on the menu.
Yeah.
Change things up.
Yeah.
How many subscribers do you have?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know, man. Like so podcasting is still, I guess it's not that. I don't know. Podcasting's changed so much. When I first, I was trying to think, I thought I did a podcast with you a while ago, but I think we just had a really long conversation one night at the restaurant.
Yeah. We've done that a few times.
Yeah. When I first started the podcast, like the first year, so like 4 years ago, 3.5 years ago. And at that point, to really try and get something out to like iTunes and get your episode published, you had to really know something about computers, at least from my perspective. So I had my cousin, who was our web developer at the time. She was like putting it out, and it was just a process. In the last like 2 years or so, a couple companies have popped up that like they distribute the podcast to every platform for you for free.
Cool.
So it's just like if you can upload to Facebook, like make a Facebook post, you can upload a podcast. And so that was a pretty big game changer. So we had put out like 4 or 5 episodes back in the day, and then it was just such a pain in the butt that, I decided to stop. And then once I found these companies, we started putting them out again. Yeah. They'll give me their version of the stats. Like, according to their version of the stats, we have maybe 160 subscribers right now and like the first week of an episode, or maybe not subscribers, but like listeners. And that's just the audio. Then YouTube gets plays, Instagram, Facebook, they get plays, LinkedIn gets plays, that kind of stuff. The first couple episodes I put out was like last year, this time was maybe like 20 people in the first week. So it's definitely grown a lot.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. But I was just listening to a podcast this past week with the guy who like invented podcasting. And he was saying there is no way that you can ever accurately get the true number on how many people are listening to your episode.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He's like,
so it's not like Instagram where you can see, or YouTube where you can see how many subscribers you have. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know how many subscribers there are to the podcast. I know I get contacted more from people that want to be on,
That's cool.
Yeah, it is and it isn't. I mean, there's some people that...
Yeah, I know, but, it's nice that's like a customer base, man. It's like, you got people reaching out to you.
Right.
Now you don't have to do the footwork.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's good.
Yeah. I mean, really, everybody I've had on, I've wanted to have on, I've reached out to, except for like a couple people that reached out to me. Casey from New York Mushroom Company, he reached out to me like a month and a half ago and was like, hey, we bought a car and I listened to the podcast. I think it'd be cool to do an episode about us and about mushrooms. So I was like, yeah, that is interesting because I don't know anything about mushrooms. We had Andrea Moranville, who's out your way. She was on season 4. She was on this past season.
Oh, yeah.
She had reached out and she came up on like a weekday, and it was, had a podcast with her. That was great.
Yeah, she's got a little thing going on over there at the Mansion House.
Yeah. So she does like pop.
She's doing good.
Yeah. So there's been a few for sure.
It's nice to see that area that has grown. It has grown. I mean, you got some really nice places. She's doing great stuff over there. Of course, she was on television and all.
Yeah.
And then you got a really cool place heading towards the casino, Creekside Inn.
Okay.
They're doing really good food there. If you go into Oneida, you've got Hipster.
Oh, I haven't heard of that one.
Hipster Cafe. It's a coffee
maybe
shop, and they serve, I think it's Utica
Okay.
coffee.
Yeah.
And she does like these amazing pastries. She's a CIA grad.
Oh, wow.
And they have like these really cool, funky lunches that you wouldn't normally see in Oneida.
Yeah.
Right? But they're doing it.
Yeah.
And they're in it for the long haul. They've been there a few years now.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's nice to see that because, like I said, I really feel like we were kind of the first ones to do that.
Yeah.
And then, they're in there, and Creekside Inn is doing phenomenal and beautiful dishes that are coming out,
Yeah. Yeah, man. So when you first started, it wasn't necessarily like a farm-to-table spot.
No.
No.
The whole area was not.
Yeah.
It's all about diners and pizza.
Right. Yeah, yeah. I mean, but that's kind of like farm-to-table, I feel like granted, that's like today's terminology for it, but back in the day, that was just like eating where you lived.
Yeah.
I mean,
living off the land.
Yeah. I mean, granted, Wampsville is like not, as much as it sounds like it is, it's not in the middle of nowhere at all, I go out to Wampsville to get my, do my DMV stuff because it's,
Yep. It's the county seat.
Yeah, man.
The courthouse is right there. The DA's office, Madison County Sheriff's office is there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But still, back in the day, like you would think you wouldn't be getting in like all your Cisco's and your Maines and Renzis and all that kind of stuff. You would be hitting up your neighbor who's a farmer.
Once we decided to do that, we realized, wow, open your eyes, man. I mean, we're surrounded by farmland.
Yeah.
And then to come find out like what Tim is doing over in Utica. He's been doing farm to table too, but they're like, they got this one steak from this farm and a lamb chop from that farm. It's like really, really refined of what he's going to serve.
Yeah.
And of course, we all know he's killing it. He's doing stuff that nobody's doing around here. You got to go to New York City to eat something like that, right? And I just thought, that was amazing that he was doing farm to table, but the way we did it is like we just bought the entire animal.
Yeah.
So I want the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you going to do with it? I don't know. We get the whole thing. And then Kelly Meats in Taberg, they've been doing business 26, 27 years now. So doing business with farmers that have been in business for not centuries, but decades.
Yeah.
Generations. And then also Kelly Meats as well. They've been around for a long time too. So it was like a no-brainer to do that, and then get the first call from Denise over at Kelly Meats, and she's like, "Okay, we got your beef order ready. How do you want it cut?" I'm like, I don't know. So I was like, the first time I was like, okay, I just want all the prime cuts. Get tenderloin, ribeye, New York strip, get them all whole, cut my own steaks. And we weren't really doing dinner except for like Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night.
Okay.
And then hired another guy, hired Marie. She was working with me during lunch and dinner on Friday nights. And then I just worked Thursday and Saturday nights by myself. I mean, I was waiting tables, taking the orders, ringing it up, cooking it, doing everything. Because I only had like 2 or 3 tables. That was it.
Yeah.
In the evening.
Right.
And then when we started hiring more staff and then putting it out there that we were going to be open, well, then more people started coming in. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And then hiring Dan and having him at night has really been helpful, too. So it's like, okay, dude, this is going to work. So how do you feel about doing dinner Monday through Saturday? You're not going to have a night off. You're going to have Sunday off. That's it. And you're only going to work a few hours every night. But you're going to work every night.
Right.
You cool with that? He goes like, yeah, sure. He's laid back. He's really cool, laid back guy. And funny. Everybody loves Dan. He's really, really funny. He always cracks me up. But that was like solid. That opened up more opportunity for us. And seeing that now, just recently took a vacation for the first time in 10 years,
Wow.
Yeah, 2 weeks away.
Wow.
Talk about leaving the baby behind, man.
How'd that feel?
Wow, dude. Well, we get on the cruise, and my brother and sister-in-law were celebrating their 40th anniversary, and they had set the whole thing up with this taxi driver in Cozumel because they had been there before.
Okay.
So Julian was just like, this taxi driver's like, we want to renew our vows in a couple of years, but we don't know really where. We want to do somewhere cool.
Yeah.
Because, well, there's this church and there's that church. And it's like, yeah, no. And it's like, well, they own another spot just down the road. It's like an open hut. And there's a restaurant there, and there's restrooms and a place for you to get massages. And it's right there on the water. You can snorkel. And so they did that.
That's cool.
So, yeah, it was very cool. So that was our first stop on the cruise to go to Cozumel.
Oh, nice.
Everybody was in guayaveras and white pants and white dresses. Everybody wore white. It was so awesome. So very awesome. Met some fantastic people from all over. I mean, we were bringing it in from New York, but coming from Texas, there was a lot of folks in Texas. Some of my sister-in-law's family from Monterrey, Mexico, they were there.
Yeah.
And, hearing the Spanish language, it was very romantic.
Yeah.
To say the least. And, that was amazing. But when you're on the ship and you're out at sea, the only thing your phone is good for, man, is taking pictures. You can't check sales. You can't check email. And you could, but you pay for it. So we didn't want to pay that extra $50 a day or whatever it was. It's like, nah, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So we went along with it and put the phones down and just used the phones for pictures only. And
wow.
It took a few days to get used to that. I think it wasn't until like the ship left on Sunday. And it wasn't until like Wednesday that we started to feel like, okay, this is vacation.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, of course, by Saturday, you're like, oh, man, I don't want this to end. But we gave ourselves a few more days to go back to San Antonio, visit with my mom again.
That's cool.
And then we flew back like Tuesday.
Yeah.
And, they didn't burn it down. It's still there.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And they couldn't contact us.
Yeah. That's great.
They were going to have to just really lace up their boots and get to work and run it like it's their own. In fact, that was one of the things I told Marie before I left. Just said, Marie, you're going to have to treat this place like it's your own while I'm gone. And she said, I already do. I said, damn, that's the best answer anybody could ever give me. I felt so good hearing that from her. She goes, I already do.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, man.
So I'm gone. So, so it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you came from food service way back in the day. Like, way back in the day as in your Texas days, right? You were doing a lot for HEB.
Oh, even before that, man. I was like 13 years old. My first job working in a German restaurant after high school. Go in there like 5 o'clock, get out at 9. And I did everything. Washed dishes, pots and pans, bus tables. In fact, on my first night, I helped one of the waitresses went out there and bust a table. And it's like big, huge German dance hall. And they're locking arms, and they had the Oompa band going, and it was just amazing. I was like, wow, this is a huge place. I had no idea because the kitchen was so small.
Yeah.
And Chef Raul had like this big fat cigar that he kept while he was cooking. This was like in 79.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was in high school, and that was my first gig.
Was that San Antonio?
That was San Antonio, yeah.
Yeah. So you were born and raised there?
I was born in Seguin, which is a little town just outside of San Antonio.
Okay.
Yeah. But we were living... My dad was a barber for Lackland, I think.
Oh, okay.
Military barber.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when he cut our hair, it was like newspaper was put on the floor, and there was a stool with no back. And he just held onto that stool for dear life, man. And his shaking, nervous hand would grab your forehead, and those clippers went, wah. Next. I mean, it was really that fast. Like, oh, my God. We were getting the
awesome.
Military buzz cut in the 3rd and 4th grade, yeah.
Yeah, man.
It wasn't until middle school where he stopped, and then we stared growing it out.
That's wild.
Hippies.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I was working at a diner.
Okay.
flipping burgers and bussing tables and doing all that stuff like that.
Yeah.
And there was an H-E-B grocery store across the street. I just happened to be shopping for some groceries, and they were doing like this job fair.
Okay.
So I stopped at the desk and said, I'd be interested in filling out an application. I said, well, we can do an interview right now. I said, well, I have my groceries with me. So that's all right. They put them in a shopping cart and put that shopping cart in like the dairy cooler.
Oh, cool.
And I sat down and did an interview right there on the spot. I hadn't even filled out an application yet. And they had like a list of places that they could put me. And the first one was a deli. And I was like, no way. There's no way I'm slicing bologna. Because I'd end up eating a slice for every one I sliced, right? And I just didn't see myself doing that. But they were thinking food service because I was working at the diner across the street.
Yeah.
Then they said the only other spot they had available was Market Boy. I was like, really? Is that the name of the job, Market Boy? And that's what the guy told me, Market Boy. And it's like, well, what does a Market Boy do? He goes, you do whatever they want you to do. I said, okay, sure, I'll take that. He goes, okay, well, we'll give you a call. Sure enough, they gave me a call that same afternoon.
Wow.
Telling me to come back with my application, and they wanted to talk and meet the store director.
Okay.
So I got hired as a market boy. My job, and that was in November,
Okay.
early November. So my job was standing in front of a scale in this cold room where they had saws on the end. They were like cutting meats and steaks and stuff. And there's a big, huge grinder right here, and the door swinging out, going into the store. I had like these long white smocks on and this big, ridiculous hairnet. And they brought in a pallet of turkeys, frozen, and put an empty pallet on this side. And I thought, oh, no, I'm good. let me know when you're done with that. So it was like taking turkeys out, frozen. Your hands are burning.
Yeah.
Right? They got no gloves. And then if you knock your fingers when you're putting them in there, oh, man, it's a busting knuckles. So did that for a few weeks.
Yeah.
And then Thanksgiving passed, and then it was Christmas. So I did
It was hams.
hams. That's even worse because they have like this plastic mesh on them, and all of that brine and salt is in there.
Oh,
It
geez.
actually starts to rip up your fingers.
Oh, man.
And so I had like this weird reaction. My skin was starting to split, and I was getting like these like cuts and stuff on my fingers. Like, what's up with this?
Jeez.
So they just gave me some gloves. And then I ended up transferring to like the seafood department, which was right next door, only because they offered me full time.
Oh, okay.
So I was working full-time hours, but I didn't have full-time benefits.
Yeah.
And I was young. I was married at the time, had a baby daughter. So that was really important. That's
Yeah.
why I took the gig. I was looking for that. The
Yeah.
diner didn't offer that. They paid me well, but they didn't offer anything like that.
And
you know?
HEB, I mean, these are New Yorkers we're talking to up here, right?
So it's like equivalent to Wegmans.
yeah, exactly.
Well, Central Market is anyway.
yeah.
And that's when the door opened up for me because they opened a Central Market in Austin. And one of the managers from the I-10 diner was now the cafe manager at Central Market in Austin, the
Okay.
mothership.
Yeah. Wow.
And that cafe was huge. It was like a food court
Yeah.
with you name it. They had a bistro that did sandwiches and salads and hummus and tabbouleh platters and desserts. Then you had a cowboy kitchen that did like steaks and grills and burgers and stuff like that. Italian, pizza, pasta dishes. And, you come up to the counter, you order your food, and you get a pager. And it buzzes, and you come to another counter and pick up your food and go sit in
Yeah.
these enormous dining room with a balcony, and there was a deck outside with this huge pecan tree in the middle of it. There's like playground set up for kids.
Wow.
They had live music. Marsha Ball was playing piano there.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like super cool. I was like, I want to work here. I get to cook again. So Mark took me in. He was the guy that was working at the I-10 diner and introduced me to the food and beverage director. And it was like, how much do you need? It was like real quick. How much do you need to transfer? So I shot out a number, which Mark told me, tell him you want X amount.
Yeah.
And I did. And it was nothing because, I mean, working at HEB in the seafood and meat department, I think I was making like $5.25
Wow.
at the time. So I told him I needed $9 And he said, "Are you sure that's going to be enough? Because I don't need to hear a month or two later after you started and moved up here that you need more money because you're not going to get it for at least another year." So no, 9 should be plenty. And that was 94,
Yeah.
1994.
Wow.
$9 an hour.
Wow.
And so I was like, banking,
That is wild.
and made the move.
Yeah.
And I was cooking again, and that was like awesome. And then San Antonio was going to open one. So there was a team of us from Austin that was driving down there every week, 2 weeks, every day actually, 2 weeks prior to grand opening.
Okay. And that's
So we're
like
helping them
hour
with
drive, 45 minutes.
about 45 minutes. Yeah. Half an hour if nobody's watching.
Yeah. Well, you're in Texas, and it's like,
Well, speed limit is 70.
yeah, right. And
But there
everybody
is a
goes,
spot between Waco and the Dallas-Fort Worth split where the speed limit is 90.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Not very long, but for a few miles,
Yeah.
don't go past 90 now.
Right. Yeah. What is it? I-35?
Yeah.
Yeah. 35. Yeah.
Before you get to the Fort Worth-Dallas
Yeah.
split.
It's all just flat and
Yeah, there's
straight.
nothing out there, but be careful. Those vehicles get really light
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
when you're going 90, or your governor says, "Nah, shut you down," right? So, yeah, we're going there every day to help prep and get them organized for grand opening. And telling them that practice time is over. We need to, like,
Yeah.
follow these recipes, you know. And the store director for the Central Market in San Antonio ended up being the store director that hired me at HEB,
That's cool.
Pat Brown. And so Pat Brown like brought me in and said, "If you want to transfer and come back to San Antonio, we'd love to have you." And I said, "What do I got to do?" Because nothing. We'll do the paperwork for you.
Wow.
I said, "Cool." So it was done. And like the next week, I was moving back to San Antonio, and I was working at Central Market.
That's awesome.
And I took over one of the sections called CPK, Co-Pack Kitchen.
Okay.
So it's like at Wegmans when you see the protein, the starch, and the veg already in the microwavable container with the reheating instructions. We were doing that.
Okay.
But the planogram and the menu was bland and boring. So they allowed me to get creative, and as long as I cost out the menu.
Yeah.
So I did all that. And we created a planogram that was a little more eye-appealing. And there was a 150% increase in sales.
Wow.
So I became like this golden boy, and everybody wanted me. Like I did some magic or something. No, I just made something a little more eye-appealing
Yeah.
with food. That's it.
Yeah.
Everything was like the same color. For the longest time. So when we changed that up and changed the starch and the veg so that it popped and there was more color,
Yeah.
it increased sales.
That's awesome.
And then I created a tool where I kept track of point of sales. They didn't have that.
Oh, really?
They couldn't give me that tool. So I had to create my own, and I kept track of what was moving, what wasn't, what became shrink, what became garbage, and what was selling, what wasn't, and that's how I created those pars, and that's what helped the sales build. And so they had people coming through that were from all over the company, coming through to check that out. They wanted to see what I was doing. It's like nothing really, just doing what should be done, right?
Yeah.
I thought, right? So then you had these new stores opening up in Houston, Dallas, Plano, and they were all wanting me to come on board, and they were all offering me sous chef positions.
Wow.
And I was like, man, I don't want to move to Houston.
Nobody wants to move to Houston.
The only thing I like about Houston is that there's a ballpark downtown, and you can hear, you can hear that. That's cool.
Yeah.
And the diversity.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. And Dallas, I thought, man, there's almost like 4 seasons there.
Yeah.
And didn't really have that growing up in San Antonio.
Yeah.
Leaves go from green to brown. That's it. Everything goes green to brown, and that's it. And right now it's sunny and warm, and everything's green again.
Yeah.
And then it'll go brown because it's too sunny.
Yeah.
So I ended up taking a Plano job and went there as the sous chef for the grand opening.
Wow. That's up by Dallas, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just north of Dallas. It's
Yeah.
where the ranch for the Dallas the the soap opera Dallas. Remember, they would
Oh,
like
really?
come down with a helicopter and shoot the ranch house. So that's in Plano.
Oh, wow.
That actual ranch wasn't very far from the apartment I had.
Oh, that's cool.
But at the same time, the store in San Antonio knew that Lisa and I were dating. So they offered, and they knew that they were going to lose Lisa also.
Yeah.
So they offered her a position, a huge management position, like store coverage. So you're covering the entire store. You're blocking for the store director.
Yeah.
Basically, you're the right-hand person for the store director. It's an incredible opportunity for her.
Yeah.
Of course, she took it.
Yeah.
And, we weren't married yet.
Yeah.
So there I was in Plano making $37 a year.
Yeah.
Not a bad gig, very stressful, but working all the time and not cooking, just managing, writing menus, planograms, instructions on how to build the dishes.
Yeah.
Portion 4 ounces of green beans on the left-hand side of container. Put, and you had to type all of this up, and print it and give it to them.
Yeah.
For the employees to know how to do it right. These were the tools we're going to create for them. So I was doing more of that and not cooking. So, and away from my girlfriend, I'm like, this is boring. What am I supposed to do with this money? Pay for this apartment that I'm never at?
Yeah, right.
So I'm out of here. So I stepped back down from the salary position and went back to San Antonio to be with Lisa and took an hourly position and then ended up transferring into the cooking school.
Okay.
That's where I learned so much more about food, what I'm capable of doing with it.
Yeah.
And food from around the world.
Huh.
It was amazing, Anthony. We had we'd have like Martin Yan come in for lunch. So you knew what you were doing for him. So you had to mise out all of his stuff, right? For his demonstration.
Yeah.
And you had to cook everything prior to that. And then we were serving it. We were flashing it in the oven and serving it or tossing the salad or whatever.
Yeah.
So these people would pay $50 to $500, depending on who the guest chef was. So that was Asian for lunch. And then you'd have somebody from, who knows, Cairo, Italy, wherever. And so you had all this different ethnic food that you were doing differently on an hourly basis.
Wow.
It was incredible.
Yeah.
It was absolutely incredible. And you had to plan and shop in the store for your mise en place for like the entire week. So you knew you had a roster of who was coming, and then you had to do classes of your own.
Yeah. Wow.
So I had to learn how to cost that out, learn how to shop the grocery store efficiently and effectively and as quickly as possible, because I was being paid hourly, you know. And then you had to turn it on, because you were in like this, not quite a stadium seating kitchen, but it was flat.
Okay.
But we had like the demonstration table that was full kitchen, huge mirror behind me, a couple of cameras and a couple of screens. You weren't talking into a microphone because the sound bounced because the back wall was rounded.
Oh, okay.
It was glass, and you could see down into produce and the wine department and what we called protein alley, which was seafood and meat department. You could see all of that from there.
That's cool.
And that was pretty incredible. That was probably the most knowledge I tried to absorb in just the 2 years that I was in the cooking school.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I've got books, man, of recipes. I saved them all.
Yeah.
Saved them all and got as many autographs as I could. Francis Mallman came in there. Nobody knew who he was.
Wow.
Yes. He said he had some extra time, and because he finished early. And I think the customers paid like $100 for the seats. And we had like maybe 30 seats, and that was it. Nobody knew who he was.
Yeah.
He just put out the book. 7 fires, 3 wins, 7 wins, 3 fires, something like that. One of those. Amazing book about cooking with fire.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Wow.
So planchas and grills and cranes and putting a whole side of beef, a whole beef, how he started the fire hours before, get the coals going and then put the beef carcass out there on top of it. And it takes a day and a half to cook it, flip it over. Nobody knew who he was. And so at the end of the class, he said, go down to the store. I want you to get some field greens, some figs. He had it mapped out. He knew because he did a tour of the store. He's like,
oh, wow.
Go to the produce department, get some field greens, get some fresh figs, Go to the bulk department and get some macadamia nuts. I go to the deli and get some prosciutto di Parma. Make sure it's prosciutto di Parma, nothing else. And it's like the real stuff, right?
Yeah.
And that was it. And some lemons, some Meyer lemons.
Okay.
So I brought that up, and he did like this flat salad. And just kind of shredded the prosciutto.
Yeah.
And squeezed the lemons all over. Wow, I just bumped that. Squeezed the lemons all over everything. He took the figs and just busted them up.
Wow.
Did everything by hand. It was a flat salad.
Huh.
Olive oil, kosher salt.
Wow.
That was it. It was incredible. I still make that dish for like family gatherings and stuff like that. I still make that flat salad.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, nobody knew who he was. If he was to come in to the Central Market now, dude, there'd be a line out the door.
Oh,
They
yeah,
would sell
man.
that tickets for like, who knows, man,
Yeah.
maybe $1,000 or more pop.
Yeah. I'm just gonna hit this again, the camera, and then I just want to cover a couple more things because I know you gotta get going. That's wild, man. I mean, if there was like, I have dreams of like living a Francis Mallman life, like like out in the stream, out in freaking wherever fishing,
Argentina.
Yeah, man, like fishing,
Being the gaucho.
Yeah, like doing your stuff, man. That would be
People fly in to his ranch
Yeah.
to dine there.
Well, yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah,
Oh God,
yeah.
Rebecca, if you're listening, I've been telling her because Rebecca really wants to go to Europe. We've been talking a little bit about like what's going to be our next vacation and da 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 da. And she really wants to go to like Ireland and England and visit Italy and visit all those places. And I'm like, yeah, I'd do that. And she looked at me and she's like, really? And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, I think that'd be great. We could go spend some time in Spain for a while and maybe go to Veta La Palma,
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, yeah, that sounds interesting. I haven't told her yet, like all of the food
Yeah.
stuff that's associated with it. But yeah, man, I would love. So, honey, if you're listening, Argentina, that's our next spot. Yeah, man, that would be amazing. I mean, that's like a friend of mine and I have been talking about cooking something underground, like burying it for like the last 3 years.
It's not easy to do.
No,
I mean, you got to make sure that you keep all that dirt off of it. So what are you
Yeah.
going to wrap it in?
Yeah.
Burlap isn't going to keep it all out.
No, yeah.
I did a whole hog like that for some friends, a farmer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it smelled like, I mean, you could smell the pork the next morning, and all this smoke was coming out of the ground. But so we wrapped it up in chicken wire, the whole hog.
Yeah.
Wrapped it in chicken wire, and then I tried to lay out some banana leaf on top of it, underneath it, and
Yeah.
but once you're dumping a bunch of dirt
Yeah.
on top, you got the coals underneath,
All right.
and then we put some more coals on top, and then more dirt on top of that. Yeah, there was a little grit
Yeah.
in some of the spots. It's not easy to pull off.
Yeah.
But
I think
I
that's
think you could do it open pit.
yeah. That's why I like Rich at Eden. I don't know if you've seen his place yet or
Oh,
not.
I have. It's on my list.
Yeah, man. I think that's one of the reasons why it is one of the reasons why I love going there is, first of all, he makes the best potato I've ever had in my life. And I hate saying that because he does things that are so much more complex and I'm sure better. But the first time I ate there, I ordered like the hanger was steak, whatever it was. And it was these fingerling potatoes and they were the best potatoes I've ever had in my life.
How did he cook them?
I don't know. I don't know. He actually, I'm just gonna grab a tissue. I say this in the podcast all the time, so because they really are amazing. I have no idea how he cooked them. I mean, I know that he put them. Everything there is open flame, right? So
Yeah.
I don't know. They were just amazing. The best potato, and it was like,
potato you ever had in your
best
life.
potato I've ever had in my
Right
life,
on.
without a doubt. And it's just amazing. I love going like there. I did it that time. Like I ordered the steak, and like the kitchen that they have is like the bar at like the back of the restaurant. And if you sit at like the actual bar if you sit in like the last two seat, like especially the last seat, you could reach out and like, shake his hand. I mean, you're that close.
Yeah.
And you just feel this intense heat,
Yeah.
from the fire. And so I ordered the steak, and then he looked up. He was like, "That's what you're getting?" And I was like, "Listen, I'll have whatever you think I should have.
Yeah.
Whatever you think I
I love
should
doing
get."
that, going to a restaurant and just say, feed me, dude.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And so he had sent out a couple things, but those potatoes were just unreal. But I love that kind of, I mean, like to not just be thinking about, I have to cook this dish, like we have to make the food, ticket times, all that kind of stuff. But to then think about like, I have to manage this fire along with it.
Yeah.
Is insane. Absolutely insane.
That's a lot of fun, though.
Yeah.
It's just like, you think about it. It's just like cooking outside
Yeah.
at the house.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my favorite thing to do.
Oh, yeah.
Open fire pit cooking at the house. Yeah.
Yeah,
Everything has some kind of char on it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what it is. I just love that kind of stuff. Yeah. So if there's one type of cuisine, style of cooking, or one dish that you love cooking more than anything else, what would you say it is?
Open fire cooking.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. So if you're going to,
it could be anything. It could be vegetables.
Okay.
And I've done that. Just, grilled a bunch of vegetables, sliced them.
Yeah.
And proteins.
So let's pretend it's warmer outside, because even though the sun is shining,
I'll grill when it's snowing. I'm not scared. Yeah. I do it all the time.
Yeah. So you're gonna go home today, and you're gonna, let's pretend that you've already, you've got things prepared, right? Because you've been planning this. So you're gonna go home, you're gonna build your fire, and get things going. You're gonna open flame cook at the house. Mm-hmm. What are you gonna make?
What am I going to make?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If it was anything.
If it was anything.
It was anything. Everything's ready.
What I've done in the past is one of my favorite things to do, and I do it as a gift for my employees. I take the whole beef tenderloin, season it with salt and pepper.
Yeah.
A little bit of oil, not much. Get a good fire going, get the grill really, really hot, nice and brush it off, nice and dry, and then mark it. So you have this char. Yeah. It's rare. Sear it all the way around on the flame, and then let it rest. And then I wrap it up and I give it to them. So they can throw it in the oven.
That's cool.
And bring it up to whatever temp they want. Yeah. And it definitely smells like it came right off the pit. It's got that smoky smell to it. There's not a smoke ring on it, not like smoking brisket. Right. You definitely smell and taste the char. Yeah. That's one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Oh, I can't wait to go home and cook. Which I'm not going to.
Yeah. When you cook outside, do you use gas or charcoal wood?
No, I use charcoal. I have a charcoal grill. I think I'm going to replace it this year. I don't know. We're going to see. We'll see. I need to really tone back my work. I mean, I have our goal, my hope is to, within the next 5 years, have turned this into such a successful business that we can go buy a place in Skinny Atlas, like a nice place in Skinny Atlas. Yeah. I mean, we kind of grew up there. We didn't grow up there, but my dad's from here, and back in the 40s, I think my grandfather had built, or maybe 50s, he had bought property and built 2 lake houses on Skinny Atlas, side by side. Wow. And I think they were both families. He may have rented one, but I forget. But anyway, so my dad grew up, going out there. When I was a kid, when we lived in Kentucky, before we moved here when I was a teenager, every summer was a week at Skinny Atlas. By that point, when I was a kid, they had sold the property, the houses my grandfather had, because they were getting older, and they just rented a place from family friends every single year, same place. And my grandparents rented it for the whole summer, and they would stay out there, and then we would come up for that week. But there was no Disneyland or anything like that. It was, you're going to Skinny Atlas. Yeah. And even the case when we moved up here, we had, rented a place, and then at one point my parents had bought a place and built a house and yada, yada, yada. So, but even still, now that they've sold that, even still, my brothers, my siblings, we all come up here. We rent a place every year, for the week, and we come up here. This year it's in July. And to me, as much as I'd love to live in Hawaii, and I would, and there's still some part of me that
in the jungle in a Volkswagen van.
No.
Because they're there.
Yeah, I know they are. We met a couple of people that were like, "Yeah, I just moved here and I lived on the beach for a couple months."
Yeah.
No, I am like I'm definitely. My wife likes to say too bougie. It's like I wanted us to fly first class to Hawaii, and granted, we were able to use miles to pay for like more than half of it. So it wasn't this extraordinary expense, but still, and I want stuff like that.
Sure.
So if we lived in Hawaii, it would be a house. I would not live in a Volkswagen van in the jungle.
I know a lady that has friends who live on the Big Island, and they've recently, they've lived there for, I don't know, about 10, maybe longer than that, years. And they've recently just had water installed.
Oh, wow.
So they're all excited about that. So that's how expensive it is to live there.
Oh, yeah. We met a girl in Oahu who was a bartender, and she grew up in the Big Island, and she was like, I grew up with no running water and no electricity.
Yeah.
Is
that crazy?
Yeah, it's nuts, man. And she was only like 25, 26, so it's not like she was in her
yeah. Not like she was there in the 30s or the 20s, yeah.
Yeah, man. It's nuts. So,
crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got MTV, but you don't have running water.
Yeah, man. Yeah. No, so if I could live anywhere, it would be Skinny Atlas. I'd love to, don't get me wrong, I say this, like I asked Rebecca, you could live anywhere, where would you be? And I've asked coworkers and friends the same question before, and they usually go to, not all the times with Rebecca, and Rebecca has, she wants what she wants. Everybody wants what they want. But in my head, if somebody asks me, if you could live anywhere in the world, where would you live? And if you're asking me that question, let's also assume I have $50 million in my bank account and I can live wherever I want to.
50, huh?
Yeah, I'm just saying, it's just a random number. But let's say I'm not going to live anywhere in the world on the money that I make now, right? Like, if we're going to fantasize about this.
Yeah, sure. Why
we're
not?
going to do it right. And so, if we were in Hawaii, it would be like, listen, it's never going to happen. Vic, I hate to tell you, but I'm never going to live in Hawaii.
I used to think that way about my business.
Yeah.
I wish I had this because then I'd be able to do that.
Right. Yeah.
And then I got to the point where, I need to stop doing it. It's like looking at the Sunday paper, all the ads in there, and just looking at all the stuff that you wish you could buy. It's like, it's kind of a waste of time. So I realized that I need to focus on what I have.
Yeah.
And make the best of it. And we've gotten really good at that.
Right.
And that takes some discipline.
Hell yeah.
It takes some discipline
guts
to do that. And we've gotten to a place where we're doing pretty well. But when was that the restaurant that was in New York City? One, I forget what they call it. What is it called? Oh man. It won like the best restaurant in the world title a few years ago. So what do you do when you win?
Yeah.
What do you do?
Right.
He shut the place down.
Wow.
They took everything out of the kitchen.
Wow.
And melted it all down. Every spoon, skillet, and all that. Stainless steel tables, melted it all down, reopened, redesigned everything, redid the menu.
Wow.
And now it's a step that you step on before you can get into the dining room. So you walk into the place, and there's like a little sign there letting you know that's what you're stepping on.
Wow.
And letting you know that you have to step through the old in order to get into the new.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So thinking about that and thinking that way, we started trying to figure out, what are we going to do with Madison Bistro now? What's the next 10 years going to be?
Yeah.
What's it going to look like? So we have a beer and wine license.
Mm-hmm.
We serve beer, wine, hard ciders. We don't have a bar.
Yeah.
So you can't just sit there and knock them back.
Right.
You can sit at a table and chat with a friend or thumb your phone if you wanted to.
Yeah.
But eventually you're going to have to go because I need that table for somebody who's going to buy some food, right? And so we thought, wouldn't it be cool if we could just have like signature cocktails?
Yeah.
Not do shots or anything like that, but like just have like some really cool, clean, streamlined, classic cocktails. A Bloody Mary,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Gin and tonic, mojito,
Yeah.
margarita.
That's cool.
Just a few.
Yeah.
So we're working on that now to get
cool.
a full license, and that shouldn't be. It's really just a matter of giving them money.
Yeah. Right.
Once you get obtain the license,
Yeah.
they've already done the whole backyard back
Yeah. Exactly.
check, and they checked everything.
Right.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, for
I didn't
sure.
even know I got that ticket back then. I forgot all about that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, they found everything. So
Yeah.
they don't have to do that. They have my fingerprints and all that. So we have
Yeah.
a license. So it should be much easier to just upgrade that. So
That's cool.
that's in the works.
Yeah.
And creating more dishes that are not necessarily upscale, but a hard find.
Yeah.
So dry aged beef. Where we're at in the Oneida area,
Yeah.
Route 5 corridor, you'd have to go to the casino
Yeah.
to get a dry aged steak. So I have the roasts.
Yeah.
We cut our own steaks. So
Right.
why can't we just?
That'd be cool.
So we're doing that.
That's awesome.
So we're going to do that for the first time. In June 3rd, we're doing a 90-day dry age beef. It's in the works right now.
It'll be ready June 3rd?
Yeah.
Oh, buddy.
Dude, we've already got a reservation for 4.
Oh, man.
Like minutes after
I'm putting that in my calendar.
minutes after I created the event.
Yeah. Oh, there's an event already?
Somebody
Oh,
calls
hell yeah.
a restaurant because I
Yeah.
said, hey, this is not going to last forever.
Yeah, man.
And it's going to fill up and we're going to sell out. So
Yeah.
if you want to be on this,
That's going to be funky,
you're going
man.
to have
90 days.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's not cheap,
Yeah.
but, because you get like 30% shrinkage
Yeah.
when it ages.
Yeah, for sure.
But
And then, cutting everything off that was
Yeah.
gone. Yeah.
It's going to be phenomenal.
Yeah, man, I bet.
Yeah.
Have you ever done it before?
Yes.
Yeah.
But for myself, and then we did it at the cooking school
Oh, cool.
in
Yeah.
San Antonio. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, where can people find Madison Bistro?
In Wampsville.
In Wampsville.
So if you're coming off the thruway and you're heading towards like the casino, you would get off in Canastota
Yeah.
and go up to Route 5. Take that up to Court Street once you get into Wampsville, and that'll take you straight down to us. We're right across the street from the courthouse,
Yeah.
right next door to the post office with a little brick building in Wampsville, downtown Wampsville.
And you guys are on Facebook and Instagram, right?
We are.
Cool.
We are.
Yeah. Well, Vic, thanks so much for coming out, man. I really
Thanks for
appreciate
having me,
it.
man. It's been fun.
Yeah.